Yes, everybody, Russ on the West Ham Network. Hope you're safe and well. Let's talk about the 𝙍𝙀𝘼𝘾𝙏𝙄𝙊𝙉 press conference ahead of the game against Ipswich on Saturday. So, 𝙍𝙀𝘼𝘾𝙏𝙄𝙊𝙉 Lopetegui has just finished his press conference ahead of the game against the Tractor Boys on Saturday. A reasonable, interesting press conference. Again, they're very, very short. I don't like the fact they're on Thursdays, not on Friday, I'll be honest, because you've always got that, oh, well, we'll have to wait and see till tomorrow. That's not what we want as fans. We want to find out team news, all that type of good stuff. There was questions about, obviously, Kudus Paqueta. There was questions about pressure, questions about his preferred team lineup, and also about just team news in general, Nicholas 𝙍𝙀𝘼𝘾𝙏𝙄𝙊𝙉 and stuff like that. So let's get into it. Let's start straight away and talk about team news. He said, we have the Nicholas 𝙍𝙀𝘼𝘾 injury. He continues to be out, but everyone else is available. We would like Nicholas to be fit now, but he's having some little problems. They're not massive, unlike West Ham, but we've lost him for a little while now, and hopefully he'll be ready after the international break. That's something we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, really, saying he was going to be back in time for the Spurs game in terms of a selection. So there's no real new, there's a bit of lot of hoo-ha about nothing, in my opinion. We've already spoken about that quite a lot, and it's been quite clear that he's out of contention until after the Spurs game anyway. And I believe now we do qualify for compensation from Germany because obviously he suffered an injury during international duty. Asked about our opponents, the Tractor Boys, he says, we're working hard and we're ready to play a strong, consistent side. They perform well with and without the ball so far this season, and we have to be ready for a challenge. And indeed, we have got Ipswich fan 𝙍𝙀𝘼𝘾𝙏𝙄𝙊𝙉, friend of the channel. We're going to have him doing a preview with me, and that'll be out this evening sometime. Talking about Ipswich, they do play good football with Kieran McKinnon, a very, very good coach, and Alfie's loving life as an Ipswich fan at the moment in terms of obviously being back in the Premier League after so long, but also just the level of football. There's some really good, particularly in the Premier League, still seeing tiki-taka, he called it. So we hope we see some good football on Saturday. Might not be from West Ham though, but obviously it's an important game on Saturday in terms of getting points. We need points on the board. We need 3 points. We need that win at home. Obviously we haven't won at home in the league so far this season. We haven't got a point at home so far this season. No, you're right. Yep. So we need to get something out of the game and a victory, particularly going into the international break. Particularly as after the international break, we've got Spurs and Man United game one after the other. So it's important we get 3 points and hopefully a performance, but 3 points. Asked about the importance of 3 points. He says, always, it's very important to win, and that's why we work hard every day. We want to win for sure. We don't think further ahead than this game. Well, you've got 2 weeks off afterwards, so to speak. Ipswich are a good team, and all our thoughts are on Saturday. And Julian was at the Under-21 Premier League International Cup game yesterday, watching the game with assistant manager, his assistant coach. So that was good to see. And so he was there. Obviously, the 2-2 comeback from 2-0 down against Athletic Club Bilbao, B-side. And I did a little match review immediately after the game on the channel. Now, in terms of other questions, he was asked about being under pressure, pressure on the team, pressure on himself, particularly with the home hoodoo. 3 games, Premier League games in, and no points for me, the 3 games. Asked about pressure, he goes, our job is to live under pressure, and it's because we haven't won at home yet. That's why we are working to try and win on Saturday against Ipswich. And arguably, in terms of the home Premier League games, you'd say this one probably is the most likely in the last 4 games in terms of getting some sort of result, getting a result, and you'd like to think it's probably the most favourable tie we've had, particularly as we're playing at London Stadium, not playing at Portland Road with we did it before. Do you remember Forest? We were Forest's first opponent at City Ground and they beat us. Or was it a draw? Or it was the penalty. No, I think we lost 1-0, didn't we? And there was a Declan Rice missed a penalty, didn't he? Whatever happened to him, eh? Whatever happened to him? So if there's not a win on Saturday, the pressure's going to be ramped up even more. That's fair enough. That's what football. That's what you're only as good as your last result, particularly going international break where we never seem to come out of international break particularly well. Although we won't have a lot of players out. I think on international duty as much as usual. We've obviously the England squad finally been announced because he wasn't Bowen wasn't tipped to be in the England squad. Let me have a quick check. Is it set? Oh, he hasn't been. I believe he's not going to be included in the England squad anyway. Areola's been selected for the French squad, but that very much still will be on the bench. You wouldn't necessarily see maybe a couple of Czech boys, maybe Greece. I don't know if Jamaica are playing, possibly. Brazil, actually, yeah, there's quite a few thinking about it. But anyway, obviously, one of the only head coaches or the other head coaches, managers in the Premier League to have used every sub so far in the Premier League, 30 subs in all. And there's still some debate about whether he knows his starting lineup, his preferred starting lineup. He was asked that question, and he says, we put the focus on the lineup, but for me, everyone in the team has the same importance. We have one squad and we can choose who we play depending on opposition or who we think is best suited. And I think that to me, that's a positive to using 30 subs. And the fact is, one of the big criticisms with David Moyes was we never utilised our squad. Now he is utilising our matchday squad possibly more than anyone else, really. In the Premier League, using all the subs and whatnot. It does seem there is still a lot of tinkering, and obviously there's going to be big question marks on Saturday when we see the lineup in terms of Kudus, if he plays, where he plays. I hope it is where he plays rather than if he plays, and Kudus Paqueta. Obviously, we finished the game against Brentford without Paqueta, Kudus, or Bowen on the pitch, and he was asked specifically about them, asked about sort of their role within the side. Where's the actual question? I want to get the question right. He was just asked about them, really, rather than the actual specific question. And again, quite a generic answer, but again, it's important the team plays well rather than one or two players. Football is a collective game, and the only way I know how to be able to be as strong is to play as a team. So again, by saying anything like that, you're sort of reading between the lines that he's saying that neither are team players, which I don't necessarily agree with. I think they're both very good individual players, and I think if the team is around them, then and they can play to their team's strengths, then to me, you'll see twice the player in Kudus, twice the player in Paqueta, twice the player in Bowen, because for me, they're just trying to do it all themselves because the team, it's the midfield around it. That's what I think we need to sort out. If we can get that midfield sorted, the forwards would improve dramatically. Whether that means less tracking back for them, there's almost like it's just a disconnect between the defence and the forward line. That midfield is so critical. I think defence is starting to get an idea, although the Brentford game threw a little spanner in the works, maybe in terms of the role Mavropanos plays, maybe the role Wan-Bissaka plays. I don't see that being a permanent situation, but it's another option. Aaron can play left wing, left wing, left back, left wing back, left wing. He's playing all over the fucking place. And Mavropanos on the right hand side. I mean, talking about Ipswich do a similar thing with Leif Davis. He's basically centre half, playing right back, left back really. And Newcastle done it with Dan Burn. Also do it with Ben White, and it's an option. I don't think it's the way going forward, but it's an option. And that was it. You can watch the full press conference or the full broadcasted press conference on the West Ham website, on the YouTube channel, but there'll be a lot of ads. So this is just basically done it for you. And you can't hear the questions anyway, really. So it's actually, and I can't understand what Julian says half the time anyway, so it's been transposed for you. But anyway, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith. Come on, you irons. Much love. Bye-bye.